to the big story this evening, viewers. Remember, the Congress party a week ago kick-started the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Soon after, Rahul Gandhi could be seen interacting with a pastor who is well known for his anti-Hindu rhetoric. And now, Congress ally and ruling party in Tamil Nadu, DMK, has snatched the spotlight from Congress and instead put it back on its anti-Hindu rant. Remember, here's a party that is increasingly being known to air their opinion against anything and everything inherent to the idea of India. One such leader in charge of this hate brigade is A. Raja. He's the same DMK Neta who in the past has threatened to disintegrate India while demanding autonomy of Tamil Nadu. He has now said something that is insulting, cheap and reeks of hatred. His words, Hindus are Shudras and Shudra is a prostitute's son. Here's that remark.
ஆனால் உச்சநீதிமன்றம் சொல்லுகிறது இல்லை, நீ கிறிஸ்தவனாக இல்லை என்றால், நீ இஸ்லாமியாக இல்லை என்றால், நீ பர்சியனாக இல்லை என்றால், நீ இந்துவாகத்தான் இருக்க வேண்டும் என்று உச்சநீதிமன்றம் சொல்லுகிறது. இப்படிப்பட்ட கொடுமை வேறு எந்த நாட்டிலாவது உண்டா? இந்துவாக இருக்கிற வரை சூத்திரன், சூத்திரனாக இருக்கிற வரை நீ விபச்சாரியின் மகன், இந்துவாக இருக்கிற வரை நீ பஞ்சவன், இந்துவாக இருக்கிற வரை நீ தீண்டத்தகாதவன். எத்தனை பேர் விபச்சாரி மகனாக இருக்க விரும்புகிறீர்கள், எத்தனை பேர் தீண்டத்தகவனாக இருக்க விரும்புகிறீர்கள் என்கின்ற கேள்வியை உறக்க சொன்னால்தான் அது சனாதனத்தை முறியடிக்கின்ற அடிநாதமாக அமையும் என்பதை விடுதலையும் முரசொலியும் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகமும் திராவிடர் கழகம் எடுக்க வேண்டிய காலம் வந்துவிட்டது.
Well, the BJP has hit out saying that A. Raja is the biggest star of scams during UPA era, and these kind of remarks further expose their unfortunate mindset.
বুঝতে পারছে তো তারা যে বিজেপির ক্ষমতাটা কি এবং বিজেপির কত সংখ্যায় কর্মী সমর্থক আসবে যদি পুলিশ বাধা না দেয়, সেই ভয়ে তারা এটা করছে। আর এই ভয় আমাদের ভালো লাগতো। বিজেপি তো একমাত্র বিরোধী, সিপিএম তো সেটিং বিরোধী। তারা কলা চুরি করবে, পালিয়ে যাবে, পুলিশকে পেটাবে, পালিয়ে যাবে। আমরা তো ওসব করবো না, আমরা গণতান্ত্রিক পদ্ধতিতে করব এবং আমাদেরকে পুলিশ ভয় পায় সব থেকে বেশি। আর এই ভয়, ওদের এই ভয় আমাদের জন্য ভালো, দেশের জন্য ভালো, পশ্চিমবঙ্গের জন্য ভালো।
Well, instead of condemning such hateful remarks, the DMK has come out in defense of A. Raja. TKS Elangovan, who himself in the past, by the way, on multiple occasions has invoked the language card, has once again questioned the role of Shudras.
See, the very purpose of the Dravidian movement is to create parity among human beings. What is Hinduism? What does Hinduism say? It says Varna, it speaks of Manudharma. What we feel is our fight is against Manudharma. When a Hindu, another Hindu, my brother Hindu could not walk into a street where upper class people live, it's an insult. But I am denied of my rights because I am treated as Shudras. The meaning of the word Shudra is what he said. I am not going to talk about it. But the practice of Manudharma was never in the south. The entry of the Sanskrit and Hinduism into this land has spoiled this land. We made the Hindu Dalits, Hindu backward classes people to study like the upper caste people. Our role is to see people as equals.
Why is it that the DMK is being labelled time and again an anti-Hindu party? Because there's a long list of DMK netas and allies who have in the past expressed their hate for Hindu and Hindu gods. Apart from TKS Elangovan and A. Raja, R. Rajiv Gandhi, for example, who's the spokesperson of the DMK, had given a genocidal call saying Brahmins should have been killed as directed by Periyar. Further, DMK ally VCK leader Vani Arasu also had declared a massive movement to defeat Sanatan Dharma. So the stand being taken by allies of the DMK is no different in many cases.
செங்கோடியின் இந்த நினைவு நாளில் விடுதலை, தமிழ்நாடுடைய முழுமையான விடுதலை, தமிழர்களுடைய உரிமை, இந்திய ஒன்றியத்திலிருந்து தமிழ்நாடு என்பது ஒரு தனித்துவமான நாடு என்பதை அடைவது என்பதுதான் செங்கோடி அவர்களுக்கு நாம் செலுத்தக்கூடிய உறுதிமொழி, கடமை என்று சொல்லி செங்கோடிக்கு வீர வணக்கம் செலுத்தி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Let's quickly go across to our guest joining us this evening. We have Narayan Tirupati of the BJP with us. Also with us is Mr. Americai V Narayanan, political analyst. Mr. Narayanan, first to you, because, you know, these are statements that have not been made by one DMK Neta. A. Raja, of course, has been a repeat offender when it comes to anti-Hindu remarks, but there have been a number of DMK Netas who have gone ahead and either expressed their apprehension with regards to Hindi as a language or demeaned Hindu gods or gone ahead with these kind of distasteful remarks. What kind of an example does this set? Does this not lead to communal disharmony, sir?
I believe what Mr. Raja has said is clearly creating a divide, and it's not only creating a divide, but it will make a difference for the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and others who are voting with DMK for DMK. DMK is our ally. I do not know whether it has the blessing of Mr. Stalin or not. I have tweeted today because he's causing disharmony, even Mr. Raja should be arrested. The problem is that Congress needs to speak up. I, as a congressman, may not be an official spokesperson, speak up because secularism does not mean anti-religion. It is whether it is anti-Islam, anti-Christian, or anti-Hindu. Whenever any religion or caste...
No, but sir, don't you feel that Mr. Stalin, in this very case, if not the ones that have already taken place in the past, should in fact make his position clear? Isn't that the need of the hour? Why should we not have a clear answer to that? We have Mr. Gokul Chandran also with us. Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Times Now. Yes, sir. What do you think of what Mr. A. Raja has said and how no comment has come in so far on this very reaction, on this shocking remark made by A. Raja by the Chief Minister?
Please note, as a congressman, I'm talking also. I'm a member.
Go ahead, Mr. Gokul Chandran. Yeah.
See, I'm not supporting what Mr. Raja said. It has nothing to do maybe with the DMK or of any sort. Few people in every who air their own opinion, hurting the other religion or other community or whatever it is. See, in BJP, people who call killing of Muslims, but that doesn't mean that BJP mean that. Does BJP mean...
Mr. Chandran, we seem to have a problem with your audio line. We'll fix that and just get back to you. In the meanwhile, if I can quickly bring in Mr. Narayan Tirupati as well. Mr. Tirupati, what do you make of this? A series of comments that have been made, but this one topping it all and very, very shocking and distasteful because A. Raja says that Hindus are Shudras and Shudra is a prostitute's son. What do you make of this?
Yeah, that is what they want to, create. This A. Raja or the DMK as a whole. I don't know. Mr. Americai was telling that he is not aware of whether Mr. Stalin knows it or not. With the full blessings of Mr. Stalin, the Chief Minister only, this has happened because the official spokesperson of the DMK, Mr. TKS Elangovan, has also authorized what Mr. Raja had said. So, it is the view of DMK. We have to go by that. And we strongly condemn this. And Mr. Raja, when explaining this as to why he has said, he had very clearly said that Manusmriti says this. And these people are reading the law of Manu written by Sir William Jones, an Englishman who was sent to India by the British to create a law on their own. So they are reading the law of Manu written by Sir William Jones and the Wendy Doniger, etc. So we have been saying that these people are stooges of British. That is why these people are talking like this, and they are divisive, and we strongly condemn. I request Mr. Stalin to take action as a Chief Minister on Mr. Raja, as rightly said by Mr. Americai Narayanan. He should be arrested. As a Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin should do this. See, secondly, Mr. Raja was quoting about...
Yes, because this is not, again, I repeat, this is not the first such time when A. Raja has come out with this kind of a remark or this kind of a mentality has been exposed? Let me go back to Mr. Chandran if we have a clearer line with him this time. Mr. Chandran, what would you say? Because A, we have no response that has come in from Mr. Stalin, a simple condemnation to begin with. B, interestingly, this comes at a time when the Congress is taking out its Bharat Jodo Yatra. Rahul Gandhi has already been making headlines for, his controversial meet with that pastor who's already known for his anti-Hindu rhetoric. And then you have a DMK leader come out with this kind of a remark. What is the Congress and what are the allies doing? What are they up to? What kind of an example are they setting?
See, already said, this is of Mr. A. Raja. Doesn't mean that Stalin has to condemn free speech. It supports free speech, and one of the individuals has made it.
Because, if any such thing was said about a minority community, I'm sure you would have been the first one to demand a condemnation, to say the least. We can't have two positions on two different issues that are pointing out the same thing.
There are many BJP leaders who have called for killing of Muslims, killing of Dalits. Okay, has anybody?
The opposition spokesperson has very clearly said that DMK.
Amit Shah, JP Nadda. No, nobody has condemned it. So.
Okay, still not being able to hear you very clearly. Apologies for that, Mr. Chandran. Now, Mr. Tirupati was giving you a response. Yes, Mr. Tirupati, don't you agree if this was done with anyone from a minority community, an individual or the community at large, the response would have been very different?
Yeah, see, these people cannot talk about all those things. They will never talk about the minority because they are agents. They want the votes of minorities and they call themselves secular. See, this is very clear. Mr. Raja has quoted about Vidudalai and the Purusali, the party organs of DMK and DK. Why should he quote that? Because the same Mr. Stalin had said that 90% of Hindus are there in his party. Now I am asking one straight question. This speech by Raja, does he mean that the persons in DMK, is it meant for the DMK family members, DMK party members, and Mrs. Stalin, and Mr. Stalin's son-in-law and daughter, everybody goes to
because this is going to end up dent the image of the DMK as well. The DMK, by the way, sir, has been portraying that, in the last assembly elections, they have won the majority Hindu vote as well. So what kind of an example are they really setting if they're not, to begin with, condemning these kind of remarks? Let me go back to Mr. Narayanan, who continues to stay on with us as well. Mr. Narayanan, is it okay to just sideline this by calling it free speech? Can you actually ignore this, citing free speech here?
It is not okay to just sideline the issue. I think I have clearly said Mr. Stalin should even arrest Mr. Raja. But I think it is also important. I think the religious leaders of Hindus should clarify that these guys do not understand the Hindu religion the right way. As Tirupati Narayanan has pointed out, they are reading the wrong book written by the guys who did not understand India or Hinduism. The four Varnas, as I had done in the Twitter, several people quoted Gita. In Gita, the four Varnas are not by birth. Never it has said that. It really is Guna based on their character. Four Varnas are divided. They need to understand that. Hence, the problem nowhere, and Manusmriti is not a Veda or Upanishad. It is an interpretation of Veda or Upanishad, and Manusmriti need not be taken as a law. They can quote whatever, including any individual said, out of context, in this particular case, out of time. The Smriti is only for the specific time when it is there. It does not apply to the whole thing. However, according to Hinduism,
so if you don't have complete knowledge of Hinduism, of Hindi as a language, please refrain from making these comments. That's what Mr. Americai Narayanan has to say. We have Gokul Chandran back with us. Yes, sir, make your point.
Yeah, see, whatever Mr. Raja said, you cannot expect the Chief Minister of the state to come and condemn each and every statement by his party men. he has a better role to do. He has to govern Tamil Nadu. As if Mr. Modi replies every time, Mr. Modi condemns every time whatever BJP does or BJP leaders speaks about. No,
sir, this can lead to communal disharmony. We need to understand the larger problem
nothing.
And one cannot ignore this aspect because these are comments repeatedly being made by multiple DMK leaders or
you know what is the
allies.
problem? Yeah, you know what is the problem? You are seeing Tamil Nadu only for the past 2 years. For the past 75 years, this is what is happening in Tamil Nadu. The people are happy. The Hindus living here are living very happily and peacefully and very together. So BJP is trying to cash in on something. For power, they want to divide people. Other than that, there is nothing to what Mr. Raja has said. So the Hindus are happy over here. Hindus are living peacefully. So I don't think this has to be blown out of proportion.
So you're not acknowledging the fact that on a basic level there is a need for the Chief Minister to condemn these kind of remarks. Should I play out that reaction for you again of what has been said by A. Raja? Do we not understand the sensitivity of the situation here? Mr. Narayan Tirupati.
The majority of Tamilians will endorse what Mr. Raja says.
See, Mr. Gokul Chandran says, in spite of Hindus are being targeted, their sentiments are hurt, their religious feelings are hurt, people are very happy because this DMK, he says that DMK will talk like that. You people have to listen. You people have to listen very calmly and go. Hey, what is this? What is this? For the past 50 years, these people are doing like this. Definitely, we are against. Now, people, the Tamil Nadu people will be against these people. And now, Mr. Stalin says that 90% of Hindus are there in DMK. So,
3%
Raja is targeting.
Tamil Nadu.
Is he targeting the DMK? Is he targeting the DMK cadre? Is he targeting the Chief Minister's family? That's what we are asking. As a party leader, it is a duty and responsibility of the Chief Minister Stalin to remove him and arrest him. That's what he should do.
Go file a case.
So if a firm response is not given, if any sort of an action is not taken against these people who go ahead and make these irresponsible, distasteful remarks, Mr. Chandran, it's going to set a bad example. It's going to make one believe that the general idea that the DMK practices is that of anti-Hindu.
See, 3% of Tamilians are hurt. 3% of Tamilians are hurt. Other than that, 97% of the Tamilians are very okay with this. And if the 3% has a problem, let them go and file a FIR.
You are talking about dirty. Do you have any sense? I'm asking you. Have some sense
if
in talking all this.
3% of people are unhappy with what Mr. Raja said, they can go and file a FIR. Simple.
Sir, do you condemn what Mr. A. Raja has said? Let's take it point by point. Do you condemn what he said?
See, I am not buying that. Simple. I don't have to condemn it or support it because I don't approve it.
So you can't turn a blind eye to a remark such as that.
Because he says that he is not.
I mean, this is not even about Hindi as a language. This is not even about what Mr. Elangovan had said when he said that, you know, Hindi is a language that is mostly being taught in underdeveloped states. That too was shocking, but this is taking it to a whole new level and you're not condemning it to begin with.
See, that's what I'm telling. It is his, whatever he has said on his individual capacity, he has his own right to talk anything within the laws. If it is against the law, outside the law, then very well these people can go and file a case. Why they are not filing a case? Because whatever he spoke is within the law and it comes under the ambit of Indian law.
So not many people are going to agree with you on that this kind of a remark can be passed off as you know, the right to free speech, and I'm running out of time, so I'm going to have to leave it at that. But the larger point here is that if this is allowed and if this is not condemned repeatedly and action is not taken, each time somebody goes ahead and makes this kind of a distasteful remark, then it's going to set a wrong example and make people believe that the DMK's religious inclination is that of anti-Hindu, and the rest is for viewers to decide. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on this debate.